people and companies are making these economic decisions. Fairly confident we're going to see that flow back into this country, which obviously is going to be really important for creating the jobs of the future for our young people. Also, investing in education, so we have, again, the most educated workforce in the country, in the world. I'm really tired of people saying that the reason they have to go overseas, however, is that, you know, Americans don't want to work hard enough. The truth of the matter is, you know, I travel all over the country. I get on the road at all hours of the day. I'm leaving here tomorrow morning by 6:30 tomorrow morning, and I'm going to bet that there's going to be cars on the road. Not just one or two, there'll be a lot of cars on the road and people going to work. And if we're not working hard enough, who are those people on the road? I'm pleading wife. I'm pleading wife. I've got no idea.
Yeah, NAFTA's doing this.
I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. You contact the campaign again. I apologize. So, see, since you got here early enough to sit in the front row, I want to ask you a question. And here it is.
Yeah.
I know this.
I know you will. First of all, I want to tell you, I think you're absolutely spectacular.
Do you know my
I want to talk to you about the use of computerized voting systems. And I firmly believe, ma'am, that your husband should be the vice president today, that the 2004 election was stolen, and the ABC Edge with bare vote printers, the Sequoia ABC Edge with bare vote printers, that every one of us and every person in Nevada is going to vote on in 2008 has been decertified for use in the state of California as unfit to vote on. And it has been decertified for use by the Election Assistance Committee. And right now, as we speak, $1.8 million has been allocated for the state of Ohio to test their voting machines. Now, I know Mr. Edwards has taken a position in opposition to the use of these machines. Yes. And I sure would like to hear you talk about it. Because I'm suing Sequoia right here in the state of Nevada.
That's right.
Stop the use of them.
Everybody wants to point at it. I have to tell you, we obviously need to go to paper ballots in this country. Everything's on the vote. We've used them in North Carolina. I've been using them in North Carolina. The voting goes smoothly. The process is efficient. They are machine counted, but it doesn't matter because it's sitting in the bottom of the machine, or everybody's in. You put them in yourself after you have completed them, and that's the way that we need to go around the country. Problem, of course, is that I can promise you by 2008 it's all going to be fixed. But I can't promise you that. That would be a lie. In 2008 we're still going to have a problem, but if we have a president who's committed to it, then we'll get the changes that we need. And I'd also like to tell you that we're going to make certain that every vote, every place is going to be, you know, we're not going to see the kind of fraud we saw before. You know, the last time, in 2000, it was in Florida. In 2004, it was at least in Ohio.
Probably Florida too.
But we have some good news that Governor Christ, who's a Republican governor in Florida, has determined no touchscreen machines will be used in Florida in the future. So that's a good step to take. And in Ohio, my dad was in the Navy and lived overseas a lot. One of my friends from high school in Japan, when I lived overseas, is a woman named Martha Hartman. She called me and she came to see me one time, and it was just great to see her. And we were talking. She said she got a letter from her aunt who said that they were having a fundraiser for her cousin, and you know, which she considered contributing to this fundraiser. And she said, well, that was interesting. So, you know, who is he and where does he live? I don't even know. And she said, well, his name was Hartman, and he lived in Ohio, and he was running for Secretary of State, and he was a Republican. And Martha, bless her heart, said, I'll send him a Christmas present, but not a contribution. He didn't win, So we do have a Democratic Secretary of State. So which you know, every step we take to make sure we have the protections that we need. But honestly, do we know where it's going to take place next time? There were a lot of states that were close. You know, a lot of states where they think that just a little bit of manipulation will make a difference. This being one of them. So what we need to do, in my mind, is make certain that we, in addition to doing those protections after 2008 and filing lawsuits if that's what's necessary to correct. The other thing we need to do is to nominate somebody who gives us the biggest cushion in each one of these states.
Right.
There's no doubt who that is. You know, every poll will tell you that John Edwards has the biggest margin particularly in the battleground states in this country. That he wins nearly every one of those and wins by some of them by really large margins, and against the potential Republican nominees. That Senator Clinton wins slightly less than half, Senator Obama slightly less than a third. Why in the world, when we have the most progressive candidate available, would we take that kind of a chance? We need that. You know, we expect shenanigans. We're going to try to anticipate them all, but you know, the chance of anticipating every one of them is pretty slim. And we need to make certain that we are nominating a candidate who really can win, not just in those battleground states. I want to make another point to you all before I close, and that is, you hear Democrats all the time say there's certain states we can't win, and they don't campaign there. Do you know that we didn't? You all are so nice in holding your hands up, but they said that was the last question, so I'll try to. I want to say you don't have to do this for the whole rest of the time. They say we can't win in North Carolina, for example. Do you know in 2004, though they had a North Carolinian on the ballot, we didn't run a single ad in the state? And then, of course, there's a big surprise, we didn't win North Carolina. We didn't play in North Carolina. Tennessee, well, we can't win there. Al Gore lost there. Certainly in Louisiana, we were there for about a minute and a half before it pulled out. Can't win in Oklahoma for sure, that's a Republican state. Or can't win in Kansas, you know, Tom Frank's whole book about, you know, what's the matter with Kansas. Absolutely a Republican state. Every one of those states has Democratic governors. John will campaign in every one of those states, in every state. And we will win not only the White House because of that, but we're going to win those down ballot races. Right. And don't you know, since you all are spending too much time arguing about full-day kindergarten, I need to say something to you about this. My son was born in 1979, so he went to kindergarten in 1984 in North Carolina. Full-day kindergarten. There's not been a push for universal pre-K or universal nursery school or universal 2-year-old. None of that. All of the fear tactics that are being used by Republicans in this state, that we're going to somehow have education, that they're going to be sending them off for babysitting the day after they're born. It is complete and total nonsense. That's happening in the rest of the country. What in the world makes them think that they can get away with that kind of nonsense here? So what you need to do is have somebody at the top of the ticket who helps move that crowd out and moves the crowd in who's sensible and gives us all the